Alright guys, today it's pretty windy, so I don't know how long I'll get to stay on here. I just kind of tucked back in a little cove, got behind an island, and it has me blocked right now from the wind. I've got to film when I move back out into the lake. You guys probably will not be able to hear me. So far, I have seen a fish. Saw a great big Asian carp jump out of the water right as I put in. It's funny, the ramp that I normally launch at right now, with all the rain we've had, the entire parking lot is full of water, and I just kind of parked on the very edge of it and then pushed off into the water and went over where they have like a fishing line for people to throw away their fishing line. They've got a piece of PVC, and just the top of that PVC was sticking up out of the water. Wow, Corey, I didn't know that you actually made it down to the... Well, I guess I did. I guess I seen pictures that were posted. I kind of forgot about that you were down in Gunnersville. Yeah, it's definitely windy. So, like I said, I'm live right now while I'm protected by this island. Oh yeah, that storm yesterday moved so fast. Moved so fast through here. What's up, Jay, Trevor, Granville, Teresa, Corey, all you guys? Thanks for watching. Some awesome guys watching. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all you guys, seriously. I wish I could say I'm gonna catch some fish on here for you, but it is nasty out right now. Yeah, we had a quick storm move through yesterday. I had just got home from work, and the wind picked up like crazy. Rain went through. Hey, there we go. There we go. I am fishing the BFS, so just because it's a good fight doesn't mean it'll be a good fish. I also have never measured when I've been going live. Yeah, that's a good one. Unfortunately, it's a little tangled up in the weeds. So I really have to get a bigger or a longer net with this new kayak that I'm in. All right. It's a good fish though, guys. So let's see about measuring fish while I'm live. I don't know how that'll go exactly. This will also be the first fish I've measured in the new kayak. You guys brought me luck this morning. Thanks for watching. But I think it was this cast I just said I didn't know if I'd catch one. It's gonna be a good fish. Let's see. All right, I'm used to having my catch board on the other side, so it's gonna be a little bit of a cluster this first time while I try to measure, but let's see if I can figure it out. can already tell I'm gonna have to get a better tether for my catch board, what I currently have. Sorry guys. All right, I'm gonna take this picture and then I'll come right back. I'll try to stay live if it'll let me, but I don't know that it will. All right guys, hopefully I'm back. Can't tell if it's actually live right now or not. Looks like it is. So 19.5. We're gonna let it go. It was a great catch on the BFS rod. Let's see, Kayla's joined the live and she's a little jealous right now. When I was getting ready to go, she may have said, "Have fun out there." I know she had no chance at going. She had to get some work done today, but I had the opportunity to get out and I wanted to make sure I got out. Well, Paul, I've officially caught my first fish in the kayak this year. That's what's good right now. I know you are working on outfitting your new kayak. Hopefully you can get out soon. I like to run snaps on my crankbaits, and that fish had it all bent out. Again, it kind of tangled in the weeds and everything, so I don't run snaps on very much, but crankbaits, really most of my BFS stuff, I'll go ahead and run snaps on. I mean, Jay, I'm gonna ask you to join me every time I go live from here on. I'll say that much, because as of right now, that's my first fish out of the kayak this year, which is just completely crazy. Last year, I couldn't tell you how many I'd caught at this point. I was excited to catch fish and see how it went measuring in this new kayak. I definitely need to work through a couple things without a doubt. So way better to find out now when it's not a live tournament. Because our next tournament is actually just a week away, so I threw black and blue chatterbait for quite a bit when I first got out here. I've not been out here real long, but that's what I started out throwing, was black and blue chatterbait, and just switched to this little BFS crankbait. Not my normal color. It is the normal crankbait that I really like to throw on this, but not the normal color. I went with a red. Now, I've caught a lot of fish on this red also. It actually, when I was chasing smallmouth down at the Kayak Adventure Series, this lure right here caught me more than anything else. But it's red, it's got the little black stripes on it, yellow belly. Yeah, I definitely have to work some more kinks out for measuring fish. Unfortunately, I mean, we just, number one, haven't got the chance to fish as much as what I would like to have, and I haven't caught any fish. I've had a couple bites, and that is it from the kayak. So definitely need to spend some more time on the water. That's a big thing. I know they were talking about on the podcast yesterday with Jake Stem. Time on the water, really nothing beats time on the water. And last year at this point, I'd had a lot more time on the water. So this year things are a whole lot slower for me. I know by the next tournament, the weather will be a little bit nicer, or at least it appears that way. We do live in the Midwest, so that could change 10 times over. Like I was saying earlier, we did have a crazy weather event hit yesterday where really out of nowhere the weather got crazy, and town that is pretty close to where I live actually got hit by a tornado. Doesn't look like massive damage or anything, but they definitely seen some damage. A few people that I work with actually saw damage to their homes. Hey Josh, how's it going? So what I'm fishing in front of me is some little bit of submerged timber that, as of right now, it's submerged really deep with all the water we've got. This lake is so much higher than what it normally is. I mean, it's probably higher than what I seen it all year last year. We had a good portion of last year that the lake was way down. I'm right there with you, Jay. Work has been kind of crazy lately, but I should be back to getting time on the water. Me and Kayla are hoping to spend a lot more time on the water together this year than what we got to spend last year. And we had a decent amount of time last year, but hoping to get out on the water a lot more this year than what we did last year. Yeah, you aren't kidding, Granville. It's definitely nice pulling wisdom from other anglers. It's funny because I didn't know much about. Yeah, no joke. You can probably pedal from one lake to another. I didn't know much about podcasts until, I mean, I know people have listened to them forever, but I never really cared for them until the year before last. I started kind of listening, and now I've got to the point where if I'm in my truck, I don't listen to any music at all. It's just straight podcasts, and a lot of them have to do with fishing. I do listen to the Bear Grease podcast, which is more hunting and outdoors related, but most of the podcasts I listen to are fishing related, if not kayak fishing related. Yeah, half of this lake that is normally islands are completely underwater. I did go out the other day. I didn't hit this lake in particular, but I did go out the other day for just a couple hours. And I mean, I was fishing up in the trees, which is just so crazy out here. This BFS lure, when it catches the wind, it just whips everywhere. Yes, definitely missing the Bearded Dad fishing podcast. Jay, you and Juan, I know have both been crazy busy, but we do love the podcast. Yeah, we've lost some random people at work lately, and it's caused a little bit extra on me. It happens at times. We know it'll happen, so just got to be prepared for it when it does. But it's definitely been a little crazier than last year at this time. Anybody else going out fishing this weekend? Yeah, 6 more weeks. It really is kind of crazy. This year has went very fast. I know my kids, you know, they go back and forth between, well, a couple of them just always say they don't like school. A couple of them go back and forth between they like school and they don't. And I was just telling them the other day, I was like, the school year is really close to being over. Yeah, understand that. Overtime Saturday and Sunday. Well, guess that gets you some more fishing lures, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, there's the new kayak is way more stable. Oh, that'll be sweet, Corey. NK300. If I add a motor, that is my plan, is NK300 or NK180. Either way, I'm fine. I just really like the idea of the rear-mounted trolling motor. Yeah, this kayak is so much more stable than what I was in before. I'm not going to stand up right here because, like I said, there is submerged timber, and I couldn't tell you if I'm on top of any of it right now or not, but I'd rather not take a dip in the water while y'all are watching. I mean, not that I wouldn't normally post it anyway, but happening live, you guys will be able to make fun of me pretty hardcore. I totally forgot the GoPros today. Had a few things going on while getting ready to go fishing, and did not even think about grabbing them. So I'd already kind of thought about going live, and worked out perfect. Today was the day. Yeah, I totally understand that when you got someone that knows what they're doing on the water in a kayak. It doesn't hurt to take some advice from them. Yeah, I can pull you, Paul. That's right. If I end up with a 180 or a 300, I'll pull you around, and then you can spot lock me or something, right? I'm really excited to see the new kayak when you finish it up, Paul. I need to get up and catch all Kayla's fish. While she's not here with me. This is what it takes, guys, for me to catch fish, is I've got to make sure she doesn't have a rod in her hand. Yeah, that's possible. Crashing into a stump. That was we did talk to Hunter and Emma on that and got to hear the story. That was a pretty good one. Nice. Yeah, you gonna get them on and try to hit the water on Sunday, maybe? Heard too much of the story. Yeah, if I stand up here, end up hitting on a log and flip it over, you guys will laugh too hard at me, so we'll hold off on that. Paul didn't fall over, luckily. He just crashed into us. right now, with the wind the way it is, I'm not sure if you guys are having any issues hearing me now, because I am a little bit out from behind that island, so the wind's hitting me a little harder. Yeah, you found a hiding spot. Yeah, so the way the wind is right now, I'd be zooming along like I had a trolling motor on here if I get out in it. Luckily, it's blowing back towards the truck, so at the end of the day, I will have it pushing me back. Although the wind's supposed to kind of die down as I'm out here. I feel really weird when I don't have the GoPros on me. I try to have them on me anytime I'm out. Once in a blue moon, I'll forget them, and I hate when that happens. Yeah, I mean, I'll say the content creation doesn't bum me out at all. Now, I've not been doing it as long as some of these other guys. You know, I'm two solid years into it now, and in reality, 1 solid year of posting frequently, of making a lot of content. The first year, I made a decent amount of videos, full length, but I did a lot more shorts. This year, or last year, I put together, it was like somewhere around 80 full length videos, 70 to 80. And it's a lot of work, but I enjoy doing it so far. I love fishing. Getting hard to hear. Let me pedal around real fast. If nothing else, turn around where I'm facing the other direction. Now this right here is the best thing about the pedal drive. Having that ability to turn around, or to go in reverse. That is such a huge advantage. All right, I should be a little bit more wind protected. No, so far I've honestly just really enjoyed creating content. Sometimes I do better than others about posting, especially on like Facebook and Instagram. I don't fully have either of those down yet. I've had some decent success on Facebook recently, but that really kind of revolves around having a short that did really good, a really random one. Had the clip of Kayla dropping her phone and saying, "Thanks, Rogue." That clip did really good. I want to say it's like 40,000 or 45,000 views on there, and gained me like 100 and some followers. But it goes in spurts. When I see it doing well, it kind of encourages me to post more on there. The wind turned a little bit on me, so still seeing quite a bit of it right here. let me know if you guys are still having trouble hearing me. And I'll say it's definitely helped out having Kayla along. I mean, the fact that she's, yeah, she is a natural on camera. Yeah, having her out here with me a lot makes a world of difference. Yeah, that was a great podcast. I'm sure that I gave some input, but Wendell is, number one, Wendell is awesome, but he gave some awesome input in there for anybody that's thinking about doing this, and didn't sugarcoat it, because that's the big thing. You know, you see people doing well and you see them fishing and you're like, oh, well, I mean, I can fish and I can create some content. But the ones that are doing well have been doing it for so long. Yeah, she is cute for sure. The ones that are good have been doing it for so long and have just built up that audience that whatever they put out just automatically gets views. And then, of course, they have some videos that will take off and go viral or semi-viral. And you've got John Dalton, who almost any video he's putting out is going to get about 20,000 views. He'll have a few random ones that'll get 5 to 10,000. And then, yeah, he'll have a few random ones that'll get 5 to 10,000. And then he'll have some that hit 100,000 plus. Same with Greg Blanchard. You know, you've got a guy who's getting 20,000 to 40,000 views on his average videos. That's a huge thing. Unfortunately, that one was not a fish. Paul, I thought of you when I first got in the water today. There was a giant Asian carp that jumped out of the water. And I did not cast in there and try to hook it. I was like, yeah, that's an area I'm not gonna work right now. Right now I'm fishing up on what's normally a bank, so I'm snagged in the weeds. Oh, this makes it fun too. Again, being able to cut up with you guys helps out. Being able to cut up with my wife for sure, and the fact that she's, you know, welcomed into this like she is makes it a lot of fun. Yeah, they say that Asian carp are really good to eat. I've never eaten one. I've had buffalo before. I can remember eating that when I was a kid and it being really good. But I've never had Asian carp. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Sometimes it is tough when I'm not catching fish. I mean, and that doesn't necessarily just have to do with content creation. That has to do with not catching fish, especially, you know, when I skunked on a tournament. That was huge. I know the wind's going to be bad for just a second, guys. bear with me. About to move behind another island. Sorry if you get a little wet right now. Gotta slow down right here because I can see some logs sticking up out of the water. Want to make sure I don't just slam into them with the drive. Although the drive is not locked right now. I've learned real fast I don't really have a need to lock it down. And it pops up if I hit something. Yeah, I mean, it gets that way. I don't like putting out videos of skunks, you know? And I have had a couple this year. I try to just be real with it because we all are gonna have those days that we just can't catch fish. I'm sure that it's more frustrating for people like John who are doing it for his job because, you know, I mean, his paycheck is kind of based on him being able to fish, and when you're not having success, affects you. There we go. It's another good one, guys. Oh, that's not done fighting yet. Lost it. Got my net too early and ended up losing that fish. That was another 19 plus. It was a big fish. Right up on the, well, what is normally, again, an island. It was up in the weeds when I first hooked it. It didn't fight very hard right at first, and I just thought I was going to be able to bring it right in and net it. And obviously that cost me right there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it always stinks losing them. I'm not going to get real upset right now because, again, it's not a live tournament. If I'd done that next week when we're in our next tournament, I would get more frustrated. But I try not to get really frustrated at myself on the water. Now, when you have days where you lose more than one fish, it kind of gets that way. And I've had those days plenty of times in tournaments, sadly. But when you have those kind of days, the best thing you can do is try to keep a positive attitude, because it seems like when you have one thing go wrong, if you get negative about it, just one thing after another keeps happening. It's hard to cast it all the way up to the brush, but not in the brush here. Especially with, again, the wind like it is. It's popping around just enough that it's catching this little BFS lure, and that one literally hit as I was about to take it out of the water. This one's not as good of a fish. All right, I'm not gonna get hooked right now. All right, again, that little BFS crankbait. This is from 12 Oaks Custom, of course. I know you guys that follow me know that I love that lure. Generally throwing it in the chartreuse and black back. But today I'm going with the red. I am going to go ahead and get a measurement on this because I have not caught, well, actually I haven't posted any fish to catch 22 yet. So these will be my first few fish for catch 22. You know, last year at this point I'd already actually caught all of my fish for catch 22. All right, it's gonna go dark for you guys again. Sorry. All right. Let's see if it starts ticking down again. That one was a little quicker. 15 inches. Made a good little mess on the board. I probably could have made 15 1/4, but I do not plan on 15 inches still being on my catch 22 by the end of the year. But I do want to catch my 22 fish as soon as possible, so I will definitely measure it to start out the year. Measure them all to start out, and then once I get my 22 fish, start culling them out. Yeah, I was saying earlier, by this point last year, I had caught all 22 fish. Now, you know, a lot of them were tiny fish, dinks, but it felt good catching them at least. At 23 inches, yeah. I wish that was 23 inches. If I catch a 21 right now, that'll take my, oh yeah, I'll be able to upload them to the challenge with my buddy, That Fishing Noob, too. I kind of forgot about that tournament. Yeah, that'll be good to measure fish for that. Yeah, now I'm kind of mad that I lost that one. Makes it, it takes me all year to catch 22 fish, Josh says. Well, Josh, get out there and start fishing, man, as much as you can, and you'll get on some. We are almost to the point where the bite's going to really turn on. I think had we not had the weather that we've had this year so far, I think we would have already had a really good bite by this point. Now, I know people who have gotten on them, but they've just, again, been on the water more than I have this year. But hopefully, with the upcoming weeks, I can really change that. No, inline spinner starts tomorrow. I know the event says today, but he made a post, and in this post it said Saturday it starts. So think he had his date on there wrong. Oh, I know it definitely has some fish in it that are big enough. I have no doubt I'll break a PB this year out of this lake. I also have a best 5 fish with my buddies from church, and it's going to be best 5 fish for the time that this lake is open. Now, I know one of them has gotten on some pretty good fish already. I'm wondering where he's got his basket out here. I asked him the other day at church where he's hiding his basket at. I think he's got those fish hidden somewhere. The other one, I'm not sure. He hasn't sent me any pictures of good ones, but I'll get them fired up today, because I'll send him a picture of that 19.5. But for my 5 biggest fish, 19.5 better not be in it, or I'm going to be in trouble with them. Running into stuff and knocking my catch board off the boat. Luckily, as I say all the time, tether everything you can. There, I just got caught in the trees. Man, I'll say, as far as sunglasses go, I don't know enough about them. I know I'm always going to go with polarized. I know, you know, certain colors do better in certain sunlight, and some glasses are better in overcast days like today is. I couldn't tell you much about polarized glasses. Maybe somebody else on here can give a little more insight to that. But I'll say polarized versus non-polarized for sure makes a world of difference. These glasses that I'm wearing now, the best thing I can say about them, they're great glasses. They're polarized, they do well, but they also float. And while you're in a kayak, you are going to drop stuff over at some point. I've dropped a lot of things overboard. So I like my stuff to either float or be tethered, and I'm not putting a tether on my sunglasses. So these are nice. Now, if you just get a cheap pair of sunglasses and you lose them, it is what it is. These ones are not necessarily a cheap pair, but I did get them sent to me, so they were cheap for me. But so it's kind of a bonus. I didn't have to pay for them, and they float. They're really nice. I've been very happy with them. There are wood duck boxes here at this lake, and right now at least a couple of them are underwater. One of them, the only thing out of the water is the hole. Just crazy. Like I said, with this wind, it's easy to get it all the way up in the weeds and instead of just on the edge of them. That BFS lure just catches every bit of wind. They do make me look cool, I'll say that. Can't beat glasses that make you look cool. Like I said, I'm very happy with these glasses. I've not had a pair of glasses that I've liked more than these. Yeah, I'm kind of with Paul. A brand is all preference. I know people that are not going to wear anything but Oakleys. I really like Wiley X sunglasses. I've had some. They can take a beating. They're probably the only glasses that I've not scratched up the lenses on. And I actually had them run over by a pontoon boat on a trailer, and like didn't damage them. I can still wear those glasses to this day. So, you know, if you want to get something that can take a beating, Wiley X is pretty awesome. But I mean, I've had cheap glasses that have done me really well. Big difference, like I said, is making sure you get them polarized. Yeah, I've actually heard good things about the Hobie sunglasses, and I don't think they're that bad priced, considering that everything else Hobie makes is about sky high. Nothing against Hobie for those of you that have them or like them. It's not the kayak for me, but I know they're great kayaks. But yeah, you definitely pay for a Hobie name. Yeah, Costas. I've heard good things about them. I've never had Costas. I mean, when you talk about, you know, fishing sunglasses, those are one of the top brands there is for them, for sure. Yeah, that's possible. Like I said, I've heard really good things about the Hobie sunglasses, and I think all theirs float too. They may have some other lines that I'm not aware of, but the ones that I know of, they float. 3 pairs. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it does cost that left kidney just to get your fishing gear. And it's so hard when you have stuff that you love. Like, I mean, I love 12 Oaks custom lures. I love Dad Fish Tackle, and it's so hard because not only do I love them, but I'm also supporting a small business when I'm buying them, and it is hard not to just be like, I'm going to place another order this week. I could literally place an order every week and get new stuff coming in and be excited about it every time it comes in. I actually had a buzzbait tied on earlier and I never threw it. I should have thrown it for a little bit when I got protected behind that island. I've caught a couple on top water at the local pond. So the topwater bite is about to be coming on. Yeah, Teresa, I'm loving this Bonafide so far. You know, I've not been in it real long, but man, this is such a nice kayak. I couldn't imagine getting back to the area that I've gotten to so far in my vibe. I've done it, you know, not on a non-tournament day. I would have just went to a different lake on a non-tournament day in the vibe, but I've done it from the vibe. But it would have been a brutal time getting back here. Joe said he buys the cheap Kastking glasses. Yeah, I've seen those, and I actually have some in my cart because, well, before I got sent these glasses, I had thought about getting some because, again, they're cheap. They look nice. Again, kind of like Stacy from Bank Fishing was saying earlier, they look like they'd make you look cool. No, I don't use a filter. I know some people do. I've never even tried. Yeah, Kayla's got Walmart glasses. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it gets really tough, and I'm sure running a filter would make a difference. It gets really tough when you're kind of going into the sun. So definitely have some times where the screen is glaring pretty bad, and I've had to throw out some content because of the glare and not getting good video. Wind's picking up again right here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me and not just hear it. I didn't bring all my rods with me today. I just brought my Chatterbait rod, my BFS, and then one other casting rod. Paul. There's one complaint that I have with braid. Now, I throw straight braid almost all the time. There's one complaint I have with braid, and that is when you wrap your guides with it. I know you'll get that occasionally with other lines, but happens to me with braid more than anything else. But since I've been running braid, I've got to the point where I don't run too much other line. Every once in a while I'll tie on a leader, whether it's fluoro or mono, but most of the time I'm running straight braid. I love the Suffix 832. That's been the braid that I've been the happiest with. I've run a lot of different ones, and this one seems to be the best about not fading, holds its color really well, and has just been great. Now, I have heard that, whatever pound test you're fishing with is not 100% accurate, that it's normally a little bit heavier than what it says it is. On the BFS, I'll run anywhere from 8 to 10 pound tests, but it's thin enough that it casts really smooth. This is the smoothest casting braid I've ever dealt with. I have very, very few issues with it. Yeah, I definitely need to make sure that I do that. Mine had the service, or the drive serviced right before I got it, which was nice. And I mean, it's really barely been used. I'm loving the kayak already. I think it's going to be so great for me this year. Yeah, I've got Power Pro ran on I think a rod because I got some at a discount. And I mean, I'm not gonna just say anything negative about it, but I've not been happy with it. It definitely isn't as good as the Suffix that I've been running. All right, guys, I'm gonna make a little push again. So I'll come around this corner and I'll definitely get into, I just hit a limb. I'll come around this corner and I'll get into some wind. I know I'm probably already hitting it pretty good for you, but I'll get back behind another protected area and hopefully be able to fish it pretty good. Alright, I'm hitting something. Yeah, I've heard good things about reaction tackle, but I've not used it myself. Thanks, Corey. I appreciate it. Yeah. Definitely surprised Kayla with a handful of times where packages came in. So luckily now she's fishing like I am and at least understands it a little more. There are times where she's like, "Do you really need another one of those?" Yeah, babe. Especially when there's a tournament coming up. Yeah, I mean, what if we get on a bite on this lure and end up breaking it off? So I need 5 of them. I'm also about to be working on my tackle wall, if I ever find some time to do that, and gonna have some tackle hanging up there. That way it's ready whenever I need to restock my black pack or one of my Kastking boxes. I've got it right there in my garage and ready to go. So 12 Oaks Custom, they are out of Missouri. I found out about them through a couple other YouTubers that I watch. Reached out to him last year and picked up a couple of his lures and just fell in love with them. If you see me throwing a hard bait nowadays, it's almost guaranteed it's going to be a 12 Oaks Custom. And like I have some others, but almost all of them are put in a bag for giveaways. Just to give to people while I'm out on the water, you know. Run into young kids that are fishing. I'm known to hand out something that I think will help them catch fish. But yeah, I'm all about 12 Oaks Custom. And then, so yeah, I picked up some of his lures last year and just loved them. And then just, you know, kept ordering them. And I couldn't tell you how many free lures he sent me. He always puts lures. Then Dad Fish Tackle. I know you follow my buddy, That Fishing Noob, also. So That Fishing Noob actually got picked up by Dad Fish Tackle Pro staff. He was the first one on his pro staff. And at that point, I had really just started talking to That Fishing Noob. And I was like, oh, hey, that's cool. You know, I wanted to support him, as, you know, he's a growing content creator also. And I think that's a good thing, to support each other. I've said it time and time again, a rising tide lifts all ships. So, you know, if I was going to be able to support him, that would be great. And another small business. My wife's a small business owner. So Dad Fish Tackle is out of Tennessee. He's about pretty close to 5 hours from me where he lives. And 12 Oaks is probably 3.5-ish, 4 maybe. Yeah, I've heard great things about Reaction Tackle. I saw somebody that I follow just got added to their pro staff, but I've never used their stuff. I have a buddy that got sent a bunch of their stuff. He's got a pretty successful TikTok, and his content is mostly hunting and trapping, with some fishing and some Native American arrowhead finding. And he got sent a whole bunch of stuff from Reaction Tackle through TikTok, and he said it's really good stuff, what he's used to, but I've not used it myself. But yeah, so for Dad Fish Tackle, I'd been talking to Jeremy for a little while, the guy who owns it, and happened to get an opportunity to join his pro staff also. I love his stuff. And for soft plastics, it's the same way with my hard baits with 12 Oaks. For soft plastics, you're probably not going to see other ones in my kayak with me. I'm going to mostly throw Jeremy's. The only time it's going to be something else is if it's something he doesn't make yet. And he's always adding to what he makes, so it won't be long and he'll make everything I use. I love the fact that he started making bladed jigs. He started making those back in November-ish. Or maybe, no, it would have been more like January, because he started making them right before the East Tennessee Fishing Show. And that was back in January. So that's when I picked up my first ones. Oh yeah, this is a fun mess. You guys ever have that happen? It got snagged up in those weeds over there, and when I popped it loose, like 8 feet of braid wrapped around the treble hooks. That is where braid is not fun, is because sometimes it'll knot itself and everything. So, yep, my hook went through it, so I'm just gonna cut it and retie. I probably won't stay on here live much longer. Looks like I've been on here a little over an hour now. Really appreciate all you guys watching. You know, a lot of you guys I talk to on a pretty frequent basis through Facebook, and I appreciate every one of you guys so much. Yeah, so I'll probably jump off of here right now, here at least within a couple minutes, and I'll still be fishing. Hopefully we can get some pictures of some more fish, and I'll post them on Facebook and Instagram, and probably on here also. Hopefully can catch some more for my catch 22, maybe a couple more big ones. I'm fishing the American Legacy Challenge also. So, unfortunately, a lot of the bounties have been claimed because, again, I haven't got to fish it. It's a really cool challenge. For those of you that don't know, American Legacy is a local retailer of anything fishing, pretty much. And they ship all over. They're a very big company, and they're out of Evansville. They're a great shop, and really cool shop to go to if you ever come to the area. Yeah, so they partner up with SIAC for a local kayak tournament, and it's for all of Indiana. You sign up you post your 7 biggest bass, and then each bass in 1/4-inch increments from, I think 18 is the smallest that you can post on there. But so 18, 18 and a quarter, 18 and a half, 18.75, up to whatever the biggest bass caught in Indiana ends up being. And they do giveaways for the first person that hits each size. So it's a great fun. Yeah, Paul said it's not bad. Paul spent more money in there. Yeah, so it's a fun tournament, and you know, you can get prizes. I missed out on several of the prizes because I've not been able to fish enough. But there's still an opportunity I can get out and catch some. I need to look at what sizes are available still. But then also it also counts for your 7 biggest fish of the year. So not that I'm going to catch 7 bigger ones than anybody else in Indiana that's fishing this, but there's always a chance. And it's more fun. It's the same reason why I signed up for the Catch 22. It's a fun tournament. It's cool seeing my 7 biggest bass of the year. Last year, my smallest bass would have been in the 19-inch range out of the 7, so that's pretty sweet. hopefully this year I can pass that up. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I'm still gonna fish for another probably hour or two and try to catch a couple more and put them on the board. So you guys have a great one.